else we got? Oh, these people that try and coach you. We were going to mention them.
Yeah, nut jobs.
I don't think they're nut jobs,
dude. Okay, the one person who emerged as a hero from this article says, be very careful in trying to pay attention to your body language and speak consciously through it, because you're going to have massive problems.
Yeah.
That's not what body language is intended for. So the people who say, no, master your body language and use it to communicate, you're going to come off as a creep.
Right.
An aggressive, weirdo, corporate creep if you do that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if you're making a presentation, it's hard enough to get the words right.
Yeah.
So if you start thinking like about every single movement you make and what that conveys, I agree. I don't think you're doing yourself any favors.
Or like if you go to, again, a car lot, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to make sure I look very defensive and aggressive. So I'm going to go rigid and my shoulders are going to go up.
Right.
The car salesman is going to be like, that guy's walking like a robot. I'm going to take him for a ride.
True.
You know? You could conceivably speak through your body language more. I don't dispute that.
Right. You
can become more aware of your natural body language, too. I don't dispute that either. But when you focus on it and use it as a technique to manipulate other people, I have issues with that.
Well, here was one idea I didn't think was terrible. Like, if you do a lot of public speaking, then maybe watching yourself with the sound off.
Sure, I didn't disagree with that one either.
That's not a terrible idea, I think.
As a matter of fact, I was like, maybe I should try that.
No, don't do that. The other technique that was brought up was called mirroring. That means, and this just sounds crazy to me, this is when you actually try and mimic the person you're talking to, mimic their body language and expressions to, I guess, to
make them feel more comfortable to you. People are attracted to themselves as the basis of it.
Oh, okay.
So when you mimic them, they feel more relaxed around you. They're like, I really like that person. I like the cut of their jib. I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. But they're actually mimicking your own body language. If you're leaning against the wall, they're going to lean against the wall too.
That's disconcerting.
It is. That's nuts. You shouldn't do that to people. That's manipulative and weird. And just be yourself. How about that?
Yeah, I think this quote sums it up. Trying to use body language by reading a body language dictionary is like trying to speak French by reading a French dictionary. So you can list off all the nonverbal cues in the world, but if you try and learn the body language, quote unquote, because of that, then you're just going to end up confused, or you're going to miss something they actually said.
Yeah, and plus also context is huge too. Like if you're just watching somebody's body language like a hawk in a conversation, you don't necessarily know that person's baseline. So what is, by definition in this body language dictionary, a red flag, doesn't necessarily mean it's a red flag with that person. You know, like if they're yawning, are they bored? Or are they nervous? You got to have context, and you can't just read people like that. It's stupid. Go with your gut.
Sure.
But I don't think you should actively try to read it. If you want to, go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
I did read an article with one woman who was an expert, supposedly, and she did talk a lot about the baseline. She's like, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You don't know. You got to know how someone normally is. Are they twitchy?
Yeah.
Then if they're twitching in conversation, that's normal for them.
Right. So it doesn't mean that you can't trust what they're saying right then. It just means that they're a little awkward.
Yeah.
Like me.
You're not awkward.
You got anything else?
Nope.
Friends, that is body language, and if you want to know more about it, you can type these words, body language, into the search bar at howstuffworks.com, and since I said friends, it's time for listener mail. This is a question, actually. I said we'd answer on the air. Hey guys, been listening for quite a few years, and you've seen me through a lot of years of growth out of high school and into my own as an adult. The question that's been a challenge for me recently, I'm studying permaculture quite intensively, and parts of the study are pretty depressing, like climate change, species loss, and unfair trade. I try to reflect positives only to my clients who are trying to grow their own food, because I'd rather encourage them to sustain themselves physically and emotionally than feel guilted or trapped into changing a lifestyle. I realize that having the opportunity and time to focus on ethical choices is a luxury, and want to avoid shaming people. I think this approach is good for my own well-being, because tackling issues bigger than myself seems more harmful than productive. But like you, part of my job is education. So the question is, how do you guys deal with darker topics that you cover? I really appreciate the way you do it. And I would like some insight and advice how you prevent these topics from weighing too heavily on you and still live a life of enjoyment, yet conveying topics honestly. And that is from Annalise in Australia.
Nice.
Ew. I think my answer is like when we cover something like dementia or HIV, like we recently did. Mm-hmm. We're always going to have humor in there, respectfully and in the right ways.
Sure.
Because that's what we do.
Plus, also,
that helps.
When we're getting this stuff across, it's not like we're causing dementia. We're just saying, like, here's all the information that
right.
we found on this. Here's everything you need to know about dementia. And I think the thing that allows us to go from, a lighthearted topic to a very dark topic to whatever is that we're putting it out there as objectively as possible, or as unbiased as possible.
Trying to.
We're not passing much judgment on it, depending on the topic. But for the most part, we don't really pass too much judgment on it. And I think that allows us to talk about anything.
Yeah, and as far as taking it home, if we do something that's a big bummer that it really impacts me, it'll bum me out for sure.
Yeah.
But just like anything else, I think knowledge is key to, the more you know about something, the less scared you might be of it.
Yeah.
How's that?
You just go work it out,
Good answer?
Yeah, that's a great answer, Chuck.
Me too.
If you want to get in touch with Chuck or me or Jerry or anybody, who we could conceivably pass a message along to, right?
Yeah.
You can tweet to us at SYSK Podcast. You can join us on Facebook.com/StuffYouShouldKnow. You can send us an email to StuffPodcast@HowStuffWorks.com. And as always, join us at our home on the web, StuffYouShouldKnow.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit HowStuffWorks.com.